Across the lush mangroves, rolling lowlands, and riverine coasts of Nigeria's South-South region lies towns whose histories are far older, deeper, more interconnected than most Nigerians realize. For centuries, waves of migration, trade, intermarriage, and shared ancestry shaped this part of the Niger Delta. Among these influences, one heritage stands quietly but unmistakably present: Igbo roots. In today's documentary, we journey across 8 major South-South towns where Igbo identity is not external influence but a foundational origin. These stories reveal a truth often softened by politics, forgotten by modern narratives, but preserved faithfully in oral tradition, culture, linguistics, and genealogy. The Niger Delta, a region of widening rivers, ancient mangrove forests, and generations of coastal kingdoms. It is a place where history traveled not on roads, but on water. Here, long before the modern idea of Nigeria's early civilization flourished, and among these people, the Ijo, Ishekiri, Irobo, Obigbo, and others, one identity quietly shaped the culture of the Delta, the Igbo, not as visitors, not as newcomers, but as founders, settlers, migrants, traders, and in many towns, the very first inhabitants. Today, many assume that Igbo identity exists only east of the River Niger, yet history tells a different story, one of shared ancestry and ancient migration lines stretching across Delta, Rivers, and Bayelsa states. In this extended documentary, we travel through 8 towns whose history carry unmistakable Igbo fingerprints. Their architecture, languages, naming systems, proverbs, festivals, and clan genealogies all whisper the same truth. The Igbo presence in the South-South is not modern, it is ancestral. We begin our journey on an island kingdom older than colonial maps. Bonny, the island kingdom with ancient Igbo lineage. Bonny Island, known traditionally as the Ebonyi Kingdom, stands today as one of the wealthiest and most influential parts of Nigeria, but its origin lies centuries before oil tankers and industrial ports. Here, the Atlantic breeze still carries echoes of its founding clans, families whose roots trace not only to a Jaw world, but also to Igbo hinterland. Archaeological evidence, oral histories, and clan traditions link Bonny early settlement to migrating groups from Ndoki, Ahoda, and Echi, all historically Igbo-speaking regions. The Isumoga clan, for example, maintains stories of ancestors who crossed from the Imo River and traveled southwards until they reached the mangrove island of Bonny. Their names still bear Igbo linguistic structures: Ibani, Ogulo, Okochi, and similar patterns. As Bonny grew into a major 16th and 19th century trading empire, these Igbo origin settlers intermarried with Ijo clans and produced a blended, powerful coastal identity. Today, when Bonny people perform certain masquerades, give titles, or recite oral histories, you can still hear the language of their ancestors, faint but undeniable. Bonny is not simply a coastal kingdom, it is an archive of ancient Igbo migration etched in the Delta's geography. Opobo, the kingdom born from an Igbo free man. Few stories in African history are as dramatic as that of the King Jaja of Opobo. A young boy sold into slavery, rose to wealth as a merchant, and eventually founded a kingdom. But Jaja's rise is only one part of the bigger narrative. The riverine Igbo, Ndoki, Akwete, Asa, Ngwa had long populated the waterways that fed into the delta. They were traders, canoe builders, navigators, and cultural ambassadors whose influence spread across the region. Opobo Kingdom therefore represents the height of Igbo engagement in the delta economy, a civilization shaped by both inland and coastal cultures. Opobo's festivals, age grades, burial systems, and traditional titles all bear heavy Igbo signatures. The names of original settlements, Kono, Uzoba, and Bonny adjacent clans are linguistics reminders of an Eastern origin. To understand Opobo is to understand the riverine Igbo, a people whose identity was flexible, adaptive, and deeply rooted in commerce. Aboh, where Anambra meets the Igbo heartland. Aboh, capital of Ika-speaking people, sits at a crossroads of languages, cultures, and migrations. Its language, Ika, is officially classified within Igbo cluster, a linguistic family that includes all major Igbo dialects. Listen closely and you will hear it. The tones, the vowel patterns, the sentences, structures, all strongly Igbo. But the links go beyond language. Aboh's kingship system resembles that of Eastern Igbo communities, the council of chiefs, the lineage-based kingship, the reverence for ancestors and masquerades. Traditional titles such as Ichi are the same cultural DNA found in the Delta North and Anambra. Even Aboh's founding legends tell of migrations from the east, families who crossed the river Niger long before colonial rule. Aboh is not merely influenced by Igbo culture, it is part of the broader Igbo civilization that spans both sides of the river Niger. Kwale, the cultural mirror of the Igbo East. Kwale, known locally as Ukwani, is one of the strongest out-of-state Igbo identities in Nigeria. Here, the Ukwani language is mutually intelligible with Igbo. Its proverbs, market days, marriage rites, and naming conventions closely mirror those of Anambra and Imo. Names like Ukoli, Nkem, Ogene, Uchi, and Nwabike reflect centuries-old Igbo traditions. History records that many Ukwani clans trace their founding to migrations from Anambra's Owerri region, Delta's Aboh, and the Ezechima's clan network. These migrations established cultural continuity long before colonial borders imposed separation. Kwale's age-grade systems operate almost identical to those in Eastern communities. Masquerade traditions also reveal shared spiritual cosmology with Igbo groups. If you walk through Kwale's markets, listen to conversations, or attend a festival, you will feel it instantly. Kwale is Igbo in ancestry, in culture, and in identity, despite what lines on a map suggest. Obigbo, the border town that refused to forget its roots. Obigbo, often called Igbo, is one of the busiest urban corridors in Rivers State. Yet, its identity predates modern administrative boundaries. Historically, Obigbo was part of the Ndoki Igbo territory, a region deeply integrated with Abia and the eastern trade routes. Its name, Obigbo, is unmistakably Igbo in morphology. Even today, the language spoken in families, markets, and local ceremonies remains predominantly Igbo. People here celebrate Igbo festivals, maintain Igbo age-grade structure, and follow Eastern naming patterns. Obigbo's identity is a reminder that history cannot be redrawn by administrative decree. People are not defined by state borders, but by their ancestors. Awashoku. an ancient Igbo kingdom west of the Niger. Awashoku stands as one of the most historically significant Anioma towns. Its monarch traced ancestry to migrations from Owerri, the spiritual headquarters of the Igbo world. In the royal archives of Awashoku are genealogies linking the earliest rulers to eastern Igboland. The town's title system, Eze, Ichie, follow classical Igbo institutions. Awashoku is a town where oral history and cultural memory have remained astonishingly intact. Its festivals, including the Awashoku Day, echo the same cosmological beliefs found across the Igbo world. Standing in the public square, one can feel the continuity, a living thread connecting Delta North with the eastern heartland. Ila, the urban Niger town, born by Ezechime's bloodlines. Ila is one of the proudest Ezechime towns, founded by descendants of the legendary figure, whose children established communities all across Anioma. The Ezechime group, a network of powerful Igbo origin clans, forms the ancestral backbone of many Delta North kingdoms. Ila's dialects, ceremonies, and lineage structures all trace back to the Igbo East. Their villages maintain strong migration stories connected to Unri, Ogbaro, and Onitsha. At festivals, the language of the ancestor rises again in chants and songs that resemble those sung in Anambra, separated only by a river. Ila is a cultural bridge, a testament to the fact that Igbo civilization crossed the Niger and settled deeply. Igbo, where the name speaks for itself. In Igbo, the evidence of Igbo ancestry requires no linguistic analysis, no historical debates, no speculative archaeology. It is written boldly into the town's name, Igbo. The founding clans trace their roots to the same Ezechime migration that shaped much of Anioma culture. The town's dialect is Igbo, its festivals are Igbo, its political structures mirrors Eastern traditions. Igbo is a cultural time capsule, a town where Igbo identity was never diluted, never disguised, never renamed. Here, history speaks loudly and proudly. From the creeks of Bonny to the ancient streets of Awashoku, from the riverbanks of Ila to the bustling highways of Obigbo, one truth becomes clear. Igbo identity in the South-South is not a footnote. It is a foundation. These towns did not borrow culture. They helped shape it. They did not adopt Igbo identity. They inherit it. In a Nigeria often divided by ethnicity, these histories remind us that the people of the Niger Delta and the Igbo heartland are not strangers. They are family, bound by centuries of migration, trade, bloodlines, languages, and shared memory. And as Nigeria looks to the future, perhaps the lesson of these towns, unity, interconnection, and shared heritage are exactly what the nation needs. The story of Igbo roots in the South is not a story of separation. It is a story of connection. It is the story of families, migration, alliance, and shared destinies across centuries. Bonny, Opobo, Aboh, Kwale, Obigbo, Awashoku, Ila, Akuku, Igbo. These towns remind us that Nigeria's history is richer than the boundaries drawn by colonial pens. They remind us that identity is woven by people, not maps. And ultimately, they show that the people of the South and the Igbo are not strangers separated by rivers, but relatives connected by blood, history, and time. In the story of Nigeria, identities have crossed rivers, blended across borders, and grown into something richer than lines on a map. From Bonny's ancient maritime dynasties to the royal courts of Aboh, to the industrious communities of Kwale and Akuku Igbo, one truth remains clear: culture does not end where politics begin. These towns stand today as living bridges between the South and Southeast, between shared ancestries and shared destiny. These histories remind us that the Igbo story is much bigger, wider, and older than many have ever been told. And now, the conversation continues with you. If this documentary opened your eyes, taught you something new, or inspired you to look deeper into our connected roots, then join us. Be a part of this journey of rediscovering our history, one truth at a time. Subscribe for more documentaries about Igbo histories, the South-South connection, and Nigeria's hidden stories. Like, share, and subscribe. Together we bring our history back to life.